Way back in the early 40s, Abe Saperstein had been contacting me since the first year I was at UCLA. And I went to the Army, and I was at Camp Lee, Virginia. And while I was at Camp Lee, Virginia, the Globetrotters were playing in Chicago. And he asked me, come on, why don't you play with us, and so on and so on. I almost, in fact, I got dressed to go down and play and changed my mind at the last minute and said, no, Abe, I said, I'm going to pass. And I'm glad I did, because I went back to UCLA and the Olympic Games came later. The whole works came a little bit later. And had I played with the Globetrotters in that one time, that would have been it. And I had to go to UCLA.
I managed to get out and see Don play at UCLA. It was not at all a setting like today. That is, it was like a high school gymnasium, you know. And I guess this was the stair step you took to move up. Phyllis and I lived at 1040 West Washington Boulevard in Los Angeles, and many of my buddies stayed there. Don, Emerson, Sonny Love would live there for an extended period of time when I was traveling around with my band.
The four of us, Don, Bob Reed, and Sammy Miller, were living together, and we were all from Berkeley. So we used to ride together out to school.
I met Don around 1946. It was just after World War II. We both had been to the service, and before Don was playing for UCLA, USC used to beat UCLA. But when Don and Dave Miner were playing for UCLA, they beat SC. And at that time, Don was the big star in Los Angeles. When Don was going to UCLA, they used to always kid Dave Miner, because Dave would call time out to see how many points he had scored up until that point of the game.
Davidge and Don hit it off very good at UCLA. They were close friends, and they were roommates naturally on the team. Don was very private kind of guy, even though we all lived together, but he would kind of isolate himself every once in a while, and he was practicing being a radio announcer or something. I think he had some kind of feelers for a program up north, but he was practicing privately on how to do this.
Don, at this time, I'm sure needed money, and he decided to open up a record shop. And his record shop was right next door to our chicken market.
Don, I think, took out his GI Bill or took a loan out somehow or other, and he opened up a record shop on Western Boulevard.
It was very unique at that time because there were not that many black businesses on Western Avenue at that time. And there were only 2 black record stores in Los Angeles.
And he had Sammy and I doing little things to help him out in the record shop. When Don was in school or away, Bob Reed was the prime mover of the record shop. And we had a nice clientele. King Cole used to come in there.
And Don would have a promotion trying to sell Sarah Vaughan's records or King Cole's records. They would come to his record shop, and if you bought their records, they would autograph the records as you bought them. And he had built up quite a business at his record store.